solving equations. So this is basically a one-step equation. We're going to look at one step, two-step, and then multi-step with distributive. Okay? So when we solve an equation, we always want to undo the action that happened to the variable. Okay? We get rid of, if you think about PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. When we put things together, we go in this order, but when we solve an equation, we go in the opposite direction. So if we were to sort of highlight our variable, so M, and we're going to start with addition and subtraction. Are there any adding and subtracting being done? Yes, so subtract 32, so we're going to do the opposite. We're going to undo it because negative 32 plus 32 zeroes out, and whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other to make it, even. Make it balanced, excuse me, not even, but balanced. 18 plus 32, so 10, carry the 1, 4. So M is 50. And you can put the 50 back in here to check yourself. So is 50 minus 32 18? Yes, it is. Okay, another one-step equation. Remember PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And remember, we're solving, so we're going this direction. So we look at the x. Are there any adding or subtracting being done to x? No, there's literally a little multiplication in there between the 5 and the x. So multiplication is being done. So to undo this multiplication, we're going to divide by 5. Because 5 divided by 5 makes 1x. And then 20 divided by 5, 4. And now remember, this 1 is understood to be there. You don't necessarily have to have it. It's understood to be there whether we write it or not. And again, if we take the 4 and we substitute it back in here for the x, 5 times 4 is in fact 20. And we can go back and check our answer in that way. All right, here's a two-stepper. Please excuse my dear Sally. Okay. And so if we start down here at the bottom, adding and subtracting, so if we look at the variable, anything being added or subtracted, the plus 2, so we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. And then multiplication, division, we're going to undo. So x is 5. Now, if you are having any issues with this process, you need to come ask me because I can show you a graphic organizer way in order to solve equations to start you out if you're struggling. I also have algebra tiles that we can work on together as well if you need something a little bit more concrete. All right, example 4. Multi-step, we got parentheses in there as well. Okay, so before you go to try to solve an equation, the first thing you want to do is take care of parentheses according to PEMDAS. So let's go ahead and distribute this 4 by multiplication. So 4 times 2a is 8a. 4 times negative 1 equals, and then we're going to distribute here. Negative 10 times a. Negative 10 times negative 5. And now we have variables on both sides. All right, so we want to get all of our letters on one side of the equal sign, all our variables, and all the regular numbers on the other side. So let's move this 10a, negative 10a, to the other side. So to undo that, if it's negative here, to zero it out, we're going to add. Notice that I write down everything else. This zeroes out, so now it's kind of gone. All right. So we got our variable on one side. Now we need to move all of our numbers on the other. So this is minus 4. So to undo, we're going to add. And then we divide. Again, if you were to put 3 in place of the a, substituting it back in, it should be equal to each other. Remember, we always want to keep our equations balanced.